Welcome.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on. How are you?
I'm alright.
Yeah, good. Haven't seen you for... How long's it been?
2017.
2017?
Yeah. So about 8 years.
Yeah. Wow. Bloody hell. But yeah, I'm proud of you because you look so well.
Thank you.
But yeah, with every guest, I always sort of say, take us back to your childhood. What was that like?
I think it was quite traumatizing, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think as a mixed race person who doesn't really know their I know my white side, but I don't really know my Asian side.
Mm-hmm.
I think I struggled being in care and being moved to different religions and different ethnicities. I think you get used to being in one and then you go to another one and it's completely different. And like I remember when I was younger, I was in a Muslim household, which I felt at home very like I was settled.
Yeah.
And then being moved to a Catholic home, like straight after that.
Yeah.
I remember asking in the car, when I was on the way there, saying, "What's a Catholic?
Yeah.
Like, what is that?"
Yeah.
I kind of knew what a Christian was, but I never know what a Catholic was.
Mm.
And then I don't know. I think I struggled with it because I got baptised and then got christened just to get into the school.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That their kids was in, and I think I struggled with it because I felt a bit forced into a religion that I didn't really
see as yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then you, from there, then going somewhere where they don't really believe in God, and it's different dynamics. And I think as a child, it's hard to get your head around because you're not mature in your head as it is.
Yeah.
It's hard to get around religions and different way of people's living and just different ways of living. Really,
yeah.
It's hard.
Because I suppose as well, growing up in the care system for you, again being mixed race, being with let's say Muslim families and then white Catholic families, if there was white, I'll just assume there.
Yeah.
Kind of, I suppose you're going to struggle with a little bit of identity as well, aren't you?
100%.
In terms of thinking, well, I'm a this or I'm a that, and the Catholics are doing this, but then the Muslims are doing that, and which then suits you better or feels more at home.
Yeah.
Which more do you feel more sort of comfortable with? Which do you prefer or not like?
But then I think there's like, because of where you live in, even if I was to prefer the Muslim way of living, I feel like you have to just get into the way these people live.
Yeah.
Because some people aren't as accepting and...
Yeah, very true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know that when I did move into the Catholic household, they weren't as accepting with Muslims, and I remember they wouldn't really drive through Muslim areas.
Yeah.
In like predominantly Muslim or black areas, they would lock the car doors. And it was weird because I grew up in Aston, in a predominantly Asian area.
Yeah.
So it felt normal to be moved to like Four Oaks and Caulfield.
Yeah.
It's different. It's completely different.
It is.
And then they're not as accepting, and it was hard. You felt torn. You feel like you're trapped in the middle. You feel like you don't know who you are. You feel like you want to go back because that's kind of what you knew, and it's hard.
Yeah. So how old was you when you went into care? 3. Wow, I don't remember being that, but yeah, wow.
3, yeah.
Can you remember why you went into care?
Yeah. There was a lot of physical violence.
Yeah.
Sexual violence.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was me, to be honest, that I went to nursery when I was broken a few times as a child. And obviously they'd ask me, and as a child you think what's going on at home is normal.
Yeah, of course.
So obviously you tell them what's happened.
Yeah.
To not go home then, and to be removed, and then my mum blames me, and because I was the one that said something.
Yeah.
But then I feel torn. I feel like I did the right thing because I got my brothers and sisters out of the situation. I got us all out of the situation, but then I feel like, did I get them into a better situation, or do you know what I mean? Because we've all struggled. Like none of us, coming from a household where we was all together. There's like, there were about 7 of us together, to then being split off into households where I was by myself, my 2 brothers went together, and then they went off separate. It's hard because then you have to, if you think about it, as a 3-year-old, you're not developed, you don't understand things, like you don't understand. So to you, you think, oh, I'm just probably going to stay at this person's house for a few days, and then
Yeah,
you
like a
just
little
never
trip.
go. Yeah, you never go home, and
Yeah.
then you get used to there, and then you have people coming in and telling you, "Are you going to move somewhere else?" I remember being told that I was moving from that first placement to the second, and I remember holding on to the sofa and them literally dragging me, and me crying the whole way,
Yeah.
saying I don't want to go. Like I didn't understand, and I think it's sad that as a child you don't understand what's happening to you, and you get moved around and you think it's normal. It's not normal.
Yeah.
You end up going into school and seeing kids and then mom and dad, and you're thinking, what?
Yeah.
Mom and dad, I've got random person
Yeah.
from God knows
Derek
where.
and Teresa and then Marlon and Vivette or something.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's awkward. It's
Yeah.
awkward, and I think it's sad that a lot of children have to go through that as such children, because I think it affects you mentally. I think it as a child you don't see it growing up in care, but I think once you hit adult, you see it and you think, oh my God, I really was affected by it. Like, it really was hard.
Because what I would say is, again, it's not right or wrong because it's you and your story and your life, but then kind of me as a parent now, yourself as a parent now, you know, would you want our kids or your kids or my kids to be growing up in a home that's kind of sexually violent or physically violent? So then that's where you just maybe justify to yourself, sort of, actually, I was looking out for my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas, because then, yes, it would have affected them, but however, you imagine then them growing yourself and your brothers and sisters growing up to 16 and even beyond.
It would have damaged everyone even more than
Yeah, that's what I mean. So whereas at least you got separated, and that's really sad in a way. But
I think that was the hardest thing for me, was being separated and being on my own.
Yeah.
I think as a child, at the age of 3, you have to grow up really quick to be by yourself and to have to be a bit more emotionally. I don't even know what the word is, but just
kind of independent, isn't it?
Emotionally independent, and not have to depend on parents because you don't have any.
Yeah.
And the ones that you did have, when you get a bit older, you're like, they weren't looking out for me. Like, they were never there for me. And I think growing up, it makes you feel a bit like, oh, why me? Like, you look at other kids in school and stuff, and you think, why couldn't I have a life like that? Why couldn't my mum just love me like that? Why couldn't they just look after me? Why couldn't I? Why was I brought into such a volatile, nasty situation?
Yeah.
But then you have to look at, my mum grew up in care herself, so her own upbringing, my nan grew up in care. Like, we are all care leavers.
Yeah, so you become like sometimes what we'd call like a product of your environment, isn't it? Yeah. And it's kind of what you know, and you kind of follow the trend. Then it's kind of, can you step out the vicious cycle? Yeah. So also in the care world or the care system, if you're going to a home or a foster care, we call them placements.
Yeah.
How many placements have you had?
17.
17?
Yeah, and if you think about it, I went into care when I was 3 and I left when I was 17.
Yeah.
So that's some years I moved more than twice a year.
Yeah.
Which is hard.
It's terrible.
It's hard.
It's absolutely terrible. Because, so, say you left care at 17, my oldest daughter she's turned 16 in July. She's lived in 2 homes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our flat when we first moved out, and now that we're at the house that we're in. And again, we was in the house, the flat, sorry, for 2 years maybe. And then we moved to the house, which we've now been there for 14 years, 15 years, 14 years maybe.
So most of our life then?
Yeah. Yeah. And I suppose just that in itself, forget about everything else, just the moving around is big, isn't it?
It's
really
massive.
unsettling.
Really unsettling. And do you know how horrible it is to move into someone's house and be a child, because you know that as a child you have to listen to these people, you feel trapped. You feel trapped in a situation that you can't get out of because you've been put there by adults. Like, this is the right place for you.
Yeah.
And then, so like, there could be certain things that are happening in the house or certain ways of people speaking to each other, and you're not used to that, and then you end up picking up that behaviour.
Yeah.
And then you move on to another house, and then you pick up that behaviour, and then you move on to another house, and you're just a product of all these different places. And I remember when I was younger in the Muslim household, I remember it was weird. I've never had an argument with her. I'd never said no to her. Like anything she asked me to do, yeah, I'm gonna go and do it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you want me to go and hang up, like take the pile of washing up the stairs and put it at the top of the stairs? I'll do that for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Like to the point where I would even put my foster brother's socks on his feet. Like I just wanted things to do. Like I would.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I moved the home to this Catholic house, and I experienced anger. In this household, I had never experienced anger with my, like, I call her my auntie.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we called her.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd never experienced anger.
That's the Lady Latin, isn't it?
Yeah,
I remember,
yeah. I'd never experienced anger. Like, I'd never said no to her. I'd never had an argument with her.
Yeah.
Moved to this house, and that kids were saying no, shouting back, throwing things, slamming doors.
Yeah.
You think it's kind of polluted in a way. The way of living, it's horrible, and then you end up moving to another house and then projecting that same
behaviour.
Yeah, in their house.
Yeah,
And then because you're projecting that behaviour in the house, they don't necessarily want you there, and then you get moved on, and then you just feel like a troubled child.
Yeah.
And
you get labelled that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh wow. So again, then is that what you're saying? So when it's in a Muslim household, the kids were sort of better behaved.
Yeah, there was order. There was not even order. There was just respect.
Yeah.
You know, there was respect. None of the kids answered back. You know, if we was asked to do something, yeah, we'll go and do that. Like there was no reason to answer back. And then you come into this Catholic household where I feel like because we was up in Four Oaks and Coalfield, quite entitled. So no, I'm not going to do that. No, I don't want to do that. No. So you pick up on that behaviour.
Yes,
if your child can say no, why, as a random child who's in your household, can I not say no?
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So then you start picking up that behaviour, like, well, you're not my mum. So if these people can speak to you like that, and they're your children, then why can I not speak to you like that and I'm not your child?
Yeah, that's it. Well, so how many foster placements have you been in, and how many children's homes have you been in? Or take us through like sort of the...
Yeah, so I went to foster placement in Aston. That was nice. Then I moved to the Catholic one. And then from there, I moved to Pipe Hayes. Okay, a lovely couple. Very accepting. Very nice. I ended up moving from there because I think I had behaviours from the other house.
Yeah.
That I was quite rude.
Yeah.
So I ended up moving from there, then going to another one. All around the same area, kind of that type of area, because I was in the school. Tried to keep me in the school. So I was moving from place to place, and it was foster care until I hit about, I think I had my last foster placement when I was about 14.
Okay.
And then I went into, about 13, yeah. Then I moved to Leicester, Loughborough.
Yeah, so you used to talk about that, didn't you? Yeah.
In a care home.
So that was your first children's home?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I went back into a foster placement with a lovely lady.
Yeah.
God rest her soul, she died not long ago. She's lovely. In Gloucester. Absolutely lovely. So accepting. But I think I had my own problems. I had my own things going on in life, and I was battling trying to be a teenager with everything that I'd been through, everything that was going on, all these different identities that I had, and I was trying to find my own, and I ended up leaving there. I ended up getting drunk and messing that up, and I ended up leaving there. Got put in a respite in Birmingham, and then I got moved to Woodlands, Spindle.
Yeah.
I remember crying.
Yeah.
That day I got moved there, I remember crying on the phone to the social worker. I remember she crying back to me, and I remember saying to her, "What have you done? What have you done? Like, I just got back to Birmingham. Why have you put me?" Because in Gloucester,
when you come to us, you were out in the sticks.
Yeah, in Gloucester, it was a town village. So like there was shops where we was.
Yeah.
Mate, we was in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So I remember being like, because I'm used to Birmingham town, like city life. Being moved to the countryside at like 15, I remember, what is this?
Yeah, because I remember rightly, you come out of the drive and you went up and down the hills for about 7 miles, 7 8 miles. There was a little co-op.
Yeah.
and then you went that way. Was it called Yoxall?
Yeah,
It was something in a village, and there was just a little tiny post office and a little butcher's.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was just nothing.
Nothing, and then you'd have to drive about 20 minutes to get to Burton.
Yeah.
Which is your closest town centre.
Yeah. Wow, yeah. All right, and so then, what would you take from sort of growing up before you get to the children's homes? What was good and bad about the foster care? Or what do you take from it?
I feel like the good things in the foster placements were, I don't know, because there was good things about certain ones, but then it wasn't there with the other ones. So like in certain ones, I would with my auntie, I would always get new clothes. Like she would spend money on me. Do you know what I mean? Whereas when I moved into a Catholic home, it was hand-me-downs. It was what they had, and then Christmas, because I had never experienced Christmas before as a Muslim.
Yeah.
So when I moved into their house and being gifted presents, but then when you sit there and you deep it and you look at what they got, their kids, and then you look at what you got. I was getting books. They was getting tablets, phones. I was getting books. I was getting.
That's not right, is it?
No, I was getting like clothes and shoes, like clothes, but it wasn't things that I had asked for. And I remember one Christmas, I wanted cowgirl boots. Don't know why. I wanted them.
Yeah.
I ended up putting on my list cowgirl boats because I couldn't spell it.
Okay.
The carer said to me on Christmas Day, learn how to spell it, and then next year we'll see if we can get it for you. Oh. She knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
But just out of nastiness.
It is nasty that.
You didn't get it me because I didn't spell it right.
Yeah.
But I was a child.
As a child, yeah.
As a child, writing a list for Santa, getting excited.
Yeah.
Thinking, when I go down there, because all I've been told is because I don't know. I've just moved into this house and they're doing this whole writing list to this man and being told that they're going to get everything that they're writing.
Yeah.
So I'm writing down, and to be honest, if you think about it, I wasn't writing down anything crazy. I'm sure it was a pair of Vans.
Yeah.
Because Vans were in, probably a pair of chinos. I wanted, a pair of chinos.
Yeah.
Just, I'm sure I got, a little, a CD player, because I like singing music.
Yeah. Yeah, you could sing, couldn't you? Yeah.
But then,
and you weren't telling people off.
But then, I don't know, I felt like different to the children, their children, because they'd wrote what they'd written on their list and they got everything. They got everything plus more. Plus more computers, everything.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting there and you're thinking, I have to be happy with what I've got in it, but then I don't know, just in that moment you can't help but feel different.
Yeah.
You can't help but feel that it's obvious that that's their kids and they obviously love them and treat them different to how they would treat us, which is, I don't think it happens as much nowadays, but I think that's the thing, it was like that back in the days.
Yeah.
As a care kid, you would get treated different to their children, 100%.
Yeah, I've heard of stories where people sort of said, let's just say for example, you're a kid in my care, so my kids can eat Kellogg's cornflakes and Kellogg's Frosties, and then for your cupboard, you've got your own cupboard for a start, and there's all sort of no frills stuff, or what we call no frills back in the day for the old school lot. Kind of just like the sort of as the zone brands or kind of things like that. Whereas, but then my kids will be eating Kellogg's, which is wrong, isn't it? If I'm taking you in, you need to be a part of my family now. You're now my child. Yeah. So then, if we eat Kellogg's, you eat Kellogg's. Yeah. If we eat then as the zone, but then we all eat as the zone, rather than actually being we sit and eat the sexy food, and you eat the sort of the cheap, tasteless
that
cardboard stuff.
A lot. And then there was also thing that happened a lot in care, which I think people don't really speak about, and it affects the child. Is respite, being put into respite while that family goes on holiday.
Yes.
Goes abroad on holiday, but you've been put in some random person's house, and you're not weaned into it. You're not like, come and meet these people. And respite today. We're going on holiday tomorrow. We're going to drop you off to your respite today.
Yeah.
And
which
then
is just weird as well, isn't it?
Having to go into these people's house and think, okay, I'm here for the week. So, you know it's not a long-term thing. You know that these people have just ditched you to go on holiday.
Yeah.
Which I understand. Some families probably do need that time with just their children.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when you're doing it every single year,
Yeah.
just send every single year during the 6 weeks holidays,
Yeah.
sending that child away for a week or two. And it wouldn't be just the two, I would go to respite, and then for the other 4 weeks in the holiday, I would be sent to a camp called PGL.
Okay, what's that?
It used to be called Parents Get Lost.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a camp where you go and do like abseiling, dancing.
Yeah. Would the other kids go there?
No, they would take their kids on holiday and be doing things at home with their kids.
Okay.
Whereas you would be sent to a PGL with the other foster children.
Yeah.
Which
wow.
makes you feel different.
Yeah, of course.
Makes you feel weird.
Yeah. Because again, if you're being took on by other kids, by other families, especially long term, then it should be a case of, well, we're going on holiday, and your family now, so you go on holiday.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, they did for the first year, they took me to Spain.
Yeah, okay.
But then the next year, because I was with them for about 2-3 years, the next year it was respite and PGL, then the next year it was respite and PGL.
Yeah.
And then, like, some of the like on a Sunday, they would go to their grandparents' house and have Sunday dinner. They would send me to like a music club.
But yeah.
Where I would have to have a packed lunch and go and sit and play instruments in a room full of people that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
You're around a group of kids that you don't know. You've already got anxiety, social anxiety from being moved around everywhere.
Yeah.
To then being put into a place where it's like, okay, we're going to go have our Sunday dinner as a family.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have your packed lunch here, play some music, and then we're going to come and watch you perform your music. See you later.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is.
But then it's normal to you in that household. It's normal. But then when you move out and someone else is living different, you notice that that's not normal.
Yeah. But then people wonder why as well. Kids in care have such high statistics for crime, for sort of bad relationships, and sort of, or even repetitions of bad behaviour.
Yeah.
Because they've never had that secure base.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like, say your kids now have got it, my kids will have it. Or whereas I wouldn't go on holiday and take 2 of my kids and leave one behind.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
Like, the trauma that it causes for that child that you've left behind, them other 2 kids, they're fine, they're happy, we're going on holiday.
Yeah.
That one child feels left, feels abandoned, feels... Not that they've already been abandoned by their family anyway, they've been moved out of their family's home.
Yeah.
And they're being passed around from pillar to post. To then feel like, this family that I'm living with don't even want me anyway. Yeah,
it's so poor, that, isn't it? Because the thing is, as well, foster carers get paid, not always, but get paid a nice bit of money to be foster carers.
Yeah.
Not that they should do it for the money, but then that becomes part of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's
and
really
I used
bad.
to say to them, am I just a paycheck to you?
Yeah.
That's how it feels, like you've only got 3 foster kids in the house, because that's 3 different incomes.
Yeah.
And then, but you won't do the things for us that parents would do or families would do, where you take us away on holiday, or, you do things like that with us. It would just be, like, it would be a broad holiday for their kids and Wales for us.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell there was a difference.
Yeah, of course.
You could tell you was treating us different.
Yeah.
And as a child, you might not say that, oh, I know I'm being treated different, but it impacts in your behaviour. You start to rebel. You start to feel like, why am I here just to be treated like I shouldn't be here? So then that's when you start to rebel. That's when you start mixing with the wrong crowds. That's when you start doing your own thing. Start saying, I'm going to rebel now. I'm not going to listen to what you've got to say. Yeah.
Would you say, is that things like that then, you kind of, it's, let's say in your head, as a kid then going to PGL, going to Wales, going to eating the no frills, cornflakes, doing the sort of the stuff on the side, away from the families, does that sound, because this is what I sort of feel like I've witnessed and experienced and sort of seen, is kind of like, it's just confirmation then, you don't love me, so I'm going to go make my family with whatever it is.
Whoever or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to, I don't have a care in the world for you now.
Yeah. That's
when
the behaviour comes.
You go in there thinking, okay, I've got to try and give this a go. And then when you feel like that person isn't giving you a go, you think, why am I going to give you a go?
Yeah.
Why am I going to give this a chance? When I feel like, as a child, like, because I have my own kids, it's so important for them to feel loved, to feel welcome, to feel at home, to feel relaxed, to have a a routine and things like that. And I think you don't have that when you're in care. And I think you you start to notice that things are different, and it's just it's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird. You feel alienated. You feel like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah.
Why was I even born? Like I used to say to people, why was I born into this? Like, why are adults given the decision to let children into this life? Like, it's unfortunate. It's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy. Whereas, really, at least in my opinion, again, having my own children, they're an absolute blessing. Why will adults treat children that way? It just, in my head, I can't understand it. I can't
Kids are
get around
innocent.
it.
They're not. They don't. Like, they're a product of their environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, a child could come out and live in one household like, and they'll come out completely different. Like, it's just, it's crazy how much where you live and your surroundings impact you growing up.
Yeah.
And now as an adult, like, I don't like erraticness. Like, I like to know what's going on.
Yeah.
I like peace and quiet. I don't like I'm not an argumentative person. I'm not confrontational. To be honest, I just take it. I'm like, okay, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? I think I've learned to be a bit more of like a problem solver. So if this way isn't going to work, let's find this way that works.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this if this works.
Yeah.
Because I think, yeah, you have to, as a child, you have to learn to problem solve for yourself. You have to learn to make decisions for yourself that you think are going to benefit you in a good way. Or, do you know what I mean? Because no one else is there for you. No one else is looking out for you. No one else. Like, as much as a social worker can say they've got your best interest, they're not related to you. They don't have no loyalties to you.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily, like, they can say they have your best interest, but you don't know if they do.
Yeah, it's true. And at least from my experience, social workers change so much, so much. It's very rare now you see a kid with a social worker for years.
Yeah.
For years.
It used to really upset me having to, every few years, or even a few months, because sometimes it would just be like a cover social worker for now until they can find one, having to explain your story over and over and over and over and over again, and having to go. Do you know what I find the hardest? Having to go through social services for anything. So to stay at a friend's house for ESPS, anything that I wanted done.
When you're getting your hair cut and dyed,
you'd have to ask these people.
Yeah.
Can I have my hair dyed? What?
Can I go out and play with my friends?
What?
What we call free time.
Can I go and have a sleepover with my friends, which is normal for children, but then you get isolated into this world where, no, you can't ask your foster carer, you can't do what normal kids do. You're joking.
Yeah.
No, you have to go and ask the local authority.
Yeah.
You have to wait for that person to ask their manager, to ask their other manager.
Yeah.
For all the managers to sit down and have a conversation and think, wait there, shall we do this?
Yeah.
And then you get your answer back and it's rubbish. Like, I remember I didn't get my ears pierced till I was 13. And then I think I'd have to ask every time I wanted a haircut.
Yeah. Because then also, let's sort of say, if you said to your social worker, let's say it was Katrina, can I go and play with Dad? Or go and stay at Dad's house with his mum and dad?
You'd then cause an issue for that family, because then they're going to have a whole DBS check. And
they're
going to have social services coming in their house and looking up. Is this suitable?
Yeah.
It's horrible. And then you don't want to project that onto that family because it's embarrassing. In school, it's embarrassing saying to a child, oh, yeah, I can come to your sleepover, but my social worker has to come to your house. And I've what?
Yeah.
No, I'd rather not go to your sleepover, mate. Sorry.
Or would the parents sort of say, we don't need that hassle, just go and play with somebody else?
And it was hard growing up in school and having kids ask you, who's that?
Yeah.
Who's that dropping you off? Like, why is it someone different all the time?
Yeah.
And
someone who doesn't look like you. So say if you're a mixed race, it could be an older black man.
Yeah. And then you've got kids looking at you like, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
That's a bit weird. And then it's just horrible. I just think growing up in care, I think when you've you're not settled, and it's just from place to pillar to post. I think it is horrible, and I think that it's like you're a teenager, and then you have more things to deal with.
Yeah.
It's a different set of obstacles.
Yeah.
From what you was as a child. Then even becoming an adult and having to leave care, that's a different set of obstacles.
Yeah.
Because in care, you're wrapped in cotton wool.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But then, I just wanted to say, I think we call it like a care bubble.
Yeah.
It is a whole different world, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you're not in it, whether you're as a carer or a child, you just kind of will have no idea what goes on.
And
I said to my friends certain things like, what?
They're like, what?
It's weird, yeah.
Yeah, like when I mentioned in school, like, the social worker will have to come to your house. Kids are looking at me like,
Yeah.
why is social worker coming to my house?
Yeah. Or the kids are like, what's a social worker?
Yeah, and then you have to explain that, it's this person that I have to answer to, that moves me from place to place.
Yeah.
That
makes decisions on your life.
And thinks they know best for me, basically. That's what that person is.
Yeah. So tell us, so you're about 13 and you moved into the children's homes. Yeah. What was that like?
Wild. Wild. I'm telling you, it's wild.
Yeah. So that's when we met, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a whole different life.
Yeah.
It's a whole different kettle of fish.
Mm-hmm.
They said you've got kids bouncing around, like characters,
yeah.
like you all bounce off each other. It's so weird.
Yeah.
And then you'll find like your little clique, like the people that you get on with, and then you'll have the people that you don't really get on with.
Yeah.
Terrorise.
Yeah.
And things like that. It was quite fun. I think it was fun to be in a place where there was loads of us in the same situation.
Yeah.
So it wasn't weird for, like, you know, in a foster placement, I feel like the other kids used to look at you like, why you got a social worker here?
Yeah.
It's not weird for your social worker to turn up at the care home.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Because everyone has that. Yeah.
That's normal. They're just coming tomorrow. It's fine.
Yeah.
Like,
and having a key worker.
Yeah. Whereas
in a house manager.
Yeah. It was. I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it better than being in care. I think because there were staff members. There's different people, different people from different backgrounds. You can kind of choose who you get on best with, because then you get your key worker.
Yeah.
So you kind of have that one person that you're like, okay, that's my person.
Yeah.
That I'm going to go to if I need help.
Yeah.
If something's wrong, that's my person.
Who was your key worker?
Jess.
Or Jess?
But to start with, it was Leanne.
The short girl with the glasses?
Nah. Yeah.
Oh, mixed race Leanne?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Don't say that last time, but yeah. Oh, wow, yeah.
She was my favourite. Like,
yeah.
When I say to you, I never felt love the way that I felt love from that
She was a good egg.
I never felt love the way I felt love from that woman.
Yeah.
Like, the day I went there, I remember she came up in my room, sat with me for hours, helped me unpack all my stuff.
Yeah, she was good though.
Anytime that I ever needed a hug, she was there just for a hug. Like, I remember lying on the sofa and crying my eyes out because I'd been moved to this countryside. I remember her stroking me and being like, oh, it's okay, it's okay. But no one else, like, no other foster carers did that for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you'd be up in your bedroom crying your eyes out that you're in this random house with these random people. They're downstairs living life as normal.
Yeah.
And you're upstairs thinking, I'm trapped. Like, I'm trapped in this house.
Yeah.
Whereas I think in the care home, I think it's acceptable. It's more acceptable being moved and having new people come in.
Yeah.
You expect it from a care home.
Yeah.
Whereas in a foster placement, I think when things like that happen, it's hard.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to live normal family life.
Yeah.
But then it's not normal family life, is it?
Yeah. Okay, so you kind of felt a bit more at home in the children's homes.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. Like, that was where I felt comfortable. Let me tell you.
I remember when I think I first met you, when you'd come, I must have been out on my first day back on shift, walked into the lounge. So, for people that don't know, Alice, I always worked in children's homes, and then Alice was one of the kids come to the children's homes, and then you sit in the lounge anyway, and I looked at her and I thought, oh my God, just looking at you, I knew she had stinking attitude. And you told me to fuck off or something, and I thought, well, what? Who is this new kid? Telling me, and then I think I said something back, which
I think you said something back, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. I think I said something rude back, and you were like, you can't say that. I just said it. There was a little marker with a standard, but then since then, I think we had a great relationship, didn't we? Yeah. I said to my missus actually, I said, going to interview Alice to set the other out, and sort of said, probably one of my favourite kids I've ever worked with in care. Yeah.
It was fun.
Just to go back on something. Do you remember, I couldn't say the kid's name, We was out shopping for another kid. He needed some shoes. And me and you get this kind of similar sense of humour. We kind of, there was like this kind of bowling-looking shoes. And we said, yeah, son, what about these? And we looked at each other and started laughing. He went, do you think so?
Yeah.
We was like, yeah. Oh,
It
God.
was so fun.
Yeah, it was.
I swear.
The kids nowadays have changed.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
different.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can tell though. You can tell just from even as an adult being on public transport, they've got no respect.
Yeah.
And I think that nowadays, I think that they're more inclined to just do what they want, and they're like, it's more that fuck it mentality. Like, I didn't get that mentality till I was in the care home, so I was like, fuck it. Yeah. I'm well defined now.
Yeah.
Whereas I think these kids, they hit a certain age and they're like, right now, it's probably a defence mechanism or something.
Yeah.
But, it's quite angry, quite.
Yeah. For me, at least, for someone who's done it for such a long time, let's say in your era, the kids were more ruthless, more dangerous, more kind of risk averse, kind of, and just do some mad crazy stuff. But then you also had, you don't get me wrong, we had some right bloody issues with you and the rest of the kids and nightmares. I wanted to punch us down the stairs and everything. I was your joke. But then, but you also had respect.
Yeah.
You'd have some limit of level of respect. Whereas the kids nowadays, they're not as crazy, they're not as dangerous, they're not as ruthless. But again, they're a bit more entitled, they're a bit more rude and respectless.
Yeah.
To be honest, definitely more entitled. But yeah, and I think that's what I miss, to be honest. Whereas there's been times of year I sort of thought, oh my God, I could strangle this kid, Alice. But on the other hand, I always knew that I sort of, part of me loved you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, I think sort of the staff did love you, to be fair.
Yeah. And I think we loved the staff.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, it was like a family.
Yeah.
It really was.
Like a mad weird family, wasn't it?
It was a family of all of us. And we'd all look out for each other. If someone else was having a bad day, we'd all rally round them.
Yeah.
We'd all have things to do. I think the one thing that I found really hard in the care home was Christmas times, being by myself.
Yeah.
And all the kids got to go home to their parents.
Yeah.
I think that's where I struggled.
Yeah. A lot of kids do that.
Be alone for Christmas, and then birthdays where all the other kids are getting their gifts from their parents and their family. And then for you just kind of happy with the things at the care home.
Yeah. Which the budget one always great, was that?
No.
But then even thinking about it actually, and I probably never actually thought of it always, even the staff talking about their families. So you might hear me and Leanne talking, oh Lee, I'm going to get my girls this, I'm going to get my girls that, and then me and the missus are going to take them here to see Santa and we're going to do this and that. And you're probably thinking, okay, what about me? Yeah.
It was hard.
Mm.
Christmas times was hard. Because then everyone would come back with like
extra presents and extra stuff.
In your head, you think, I've just been sat here just bored at my head.
Yeah.
These, like,
talking to the D and the staff.
With all the staff all day. I've been a staff member for the day.
Yeah.
But that's the bit that I found hardest.
Yeah.
But everything else, I think it was fun. It was a breeze.
Yeah.
I felt like I see it as it was like a camp.
Yeah.
It was like a PGI. It was like a fun camp.
Yeah.
But for years. And even now, I think the people that I'm closest with from my childhood are from the care homes and stuff. Like, they're the people I speak to. Like my best friend, she's from my care home, the one in Loughborough.
Yeah.
My other best friend lived in Loughborough, so that's where I met her.
Yeah.
Like a lot of my friends aren't from childhood because I moved around so much. So childhood wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
It was more adulthood.
Okay.
Going into adulthood and growing up, and that's where my friends are.
Oh, okay. Because that home where we was, that was more like a, what do you want to call it, like a last chance saloon or a kind of a last chance before secure sometimes.
Yeah.
And then it was always sometimes a step before secure units or a step out of secure units. So sometimes you had the baddest of the bad.
I don't know how I didn't end up in a secure unit.
Like I think you was probably close at some point, and then at least back then you was what we would have called a CSE kid.
Yeah.
Or like a child sexual exploited kid.
Yeah.
Did you see it as that at the time? No.
I just saw it as a big fun camp.
Yeah.
But now looking back, I'm glad that I was took out of Birmingham because it was risky. You know, because I have my own daughter now.
Yeah.
No, she could never. She
Yeah.
could never.
Exactly.
She could never be in town at 12 o'clock on the night time, just sitting in a bus stop doing what? What are you doing? What are you actually doing?
What good happens at that time of the night?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like, what are you doing? As a 15-year-old talking to like someone who's a bit older, and as an adult now, you look back and you think, what did that older person want with me? Like, why was I talking to a child?
Yeah.
But then, as a child, you're seeing it as, oh, this person wants to know me. This person wants to love me. Like,
yeah.
And I was so out of love and I hadn't had it. So I think, growing up, I think I was quite a hard-faced child, man.
Yeah.
I think I was.
Yeah.
I didn't let no one close to me.
Yeah.
And if you did get close, I'm guarantee you I'd fuck it up.
Yeah.
I'd fuck it up before you had a chance to fuck it up.
Yeah.
I'm
definitely.
telling you. So I think that was my defence. I'd get close and then I'd distance and then have a little argument.
Yeah.
Let you know I don't like you.
Yeah.
I don't love you.
Yeah. Yeah, we had quite a few arguments, didn't we?
Yeah.
But then, so tell me about then. Again, we'd call it sort of absconding. We'd sort of run away, and the people like you would run back to Birmingham and, you know, get up to what we get up to. Sort of talk to me about that, because again, that's still a bit of a thing. Not so much where I work now, but then, well, actually, it's still such a bit of a thing. Well, okay, this where I work is not a thing anymore. But where kids running away and sort of getting up to sort of, you know, sex, drugs, and all that kind of stuff. Tell me a bit about that.
Wow.
Because sometimes us as the adults, we would struggle to sort of understand why is Alice going to go and run away and do certain things, or these other kids.
Do you know what it is? I think for me, I can only talk about Woodlands because that's the only place that I really ran away from.
Yeah.
I think it was being out in the middle of nowhere and not being able to just go out and walk down the street. And if you look at when I was in Woodlands, my experience was different than the other kids. I was homeschooled. Remember?
Yes, you was.
I wasn't allowed to go out.
Yeah.
So whereas the other kids went to school and had friends.
Yeah.
I didn't get free time till I moved to college. Till I was 17. Till I started college. Because I remember they were saying to me, "You got no friends. Where you going? Where you going if you got no friends?
Oh, where you going? Come on.
You want free time to do what?
Yeah.
So then when I got friends, I was like, okay, now I got free time. And I think you get your free time, but then you want extra free time. And you get into the free time and you look at the time and you're like, another 20 minutes? Nah, we're having fun.
Yeah.
And then you just think, fuck it, I'm going to do what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what it is? I think, because in the care home, I feel like I wasn't as scared of repercussions.
Yeah.
As I think I feel like you knew what was going to happen once you did it.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have your phone taken off you. You can't go out for a bit.
Yeah.
We're all gonna chill in the house together. Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Whereas I think in a foster placement, you have that risk of, they're gonna dash me out.
Yeah.
Whereas in the care home, I feel like they take a lot more crap from the kids than a foster placement.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because that person that you've just given shit to for the last 14 hours goes home and has a break.
Yeah.
They can go home and just...
So true.
Away from that, I'm not in that anymore.
Yeah.
Whereas as a foster placement, they're in that 24/7.
Yeah, that's so true.
So once it gets so far, they're like, nah, I ain't dealing with this, you know, like, I'm not doing it. Whereas in a care home, mate, someone else is going to come and deal with that problem tomorrow.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm going home. See you later.
And foster carers can't restrain, whereas we could. Yeah. Restrain. I say it to the kids I work with now, so I say, be getting restrained for. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That's one thing I don't think I ever got restrained, you know.
You never actually, did you? Honest, never by me, and I can't think of you ever getting held.
And I think the one time that I did do something quite violent, I think because who it was who did it to and who walked in, I think it was just kind of a...
I can't remember that, but yeah. Just remind me after.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, you was never a kid actually to get restrained.
No, I used to have fun watching all the other kids get me.
Yeah. But then again, you had that sort of... You was a little fucker and an absolute nightmare at times. When you had that respect to sort of like, if certain people walked in, Leanne being one, myself and whoever other staff, you sort of say, all right then, done now. But Alice, get in your fucking room.
It was just certain staff members, I think, that I used to just think, I can take the piss here.
And this is what the kids do, isn't it?
It's fun though, do you know what it is? You're in this house, it gets boring.
Yeah.
So you want to cause some fun for yourself, so you're like, right, that one there. That's who I'm going to terrorise today.
Yeah.
You take that one. I'll take that one.
Yeah, yeah.
Tag team.
Yeah, then as a staff member then, and kind of for other carers out there, what should carers do in children's homes to sort of make them good staff? And what did the bad staff do to make them bad?
I think that the bad staff, I think that they just come in kind of thinking they know it all.
Oh, okay. That's bad staff.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that as a good staff member,
Yeah.
I think that you have to kind of you have to give the child some time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I think that you have to you can't come in and be like, oh right, I'm authority now.
Yes.
I say what goes.
Yeah, I'm
you have to
adult with a child.
understand that you've come into that child's home. That's where they live.
Bingo.
You don't live there. You go home to your house. This is that child's home.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can't walk in and be like, oh yeah, right, listen to me, go clean that, go do... Mate, the child's going to look at you and say, who the fuck are you, mate?
Yeah, yeah.
Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
Whereas, I think if you take your time, and I think, do you know what I think helped in Woodlands? I feel like everyone had their person.
Yeah.
And then I feel like there was staff that was kind of for everyone.
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think everyone kind of had their people that they knew, okay, if I'm feeling really rubbish today, I know that I can go and talk to that person and I'm going to come out of the conversation and I'm going to feel good.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to feel rubbish about myself.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I can go and offload how I feel and this person's probably going to have a laugh with me.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they're going to understand how I'm feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
I think as a child, you have to find that person. And as a carer, you have to find that child that I think you resonate with most, if you know what I mean. That you feel like, okay, this child, I don't know how to say it. I can
empathise and sort of understand it a little bit or get through to her.
Yeah. I feel like I could understand that child's what they've been through and I could try and help them.
Yeah.
I think that you have to think like that, how you can help the child.
Totally
you
agree.
can't think, right, I'm going in there, I run this shit now. No, because listen, you'll be back out in 20 minutes, I'm telling you.
Have you been terrorised?
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I think that's what I struggled with, authority.
Mm.
So like certain staff members were quite authoritative.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no.
Mm.
Yeah, I have time for it.
Yeah.
But then I think over time, you learn to grow respect for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Over time. But then there's obviously some that are just there just for jokes. So.
Yeah.
But I think as a carer, I think you have to be understanding, and you have to leave your ego and everything at the door. You have to come in and just start afresh. You can't come in and be like, oh, this happened at my last care home, so blah blah. This is how it's going to run here. Nah, it's different.
Yeah.
Every care home's different, and every care home has different children in with different needs.
So right, absolutely, so true. Because it's a case of the way I might manage you wouldn't be the same I'd manage
because
this child.
Yeah, that child wouldn't work that way. Everyone has a different way of working.
Yeah.
And you have to find, because there might be a child that that child really pisses me off, like the way that they speak or the way that they deal with their anger.
Yeah.
But then there's another staff member that's like, wait there, I recognise that behaviour and I feel like I can help that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Where there's some staff that are like, oh my god. Yeah. Not for me.
Something's popped in my head, and I don't embarrass you. I don't know if I should say it or not, but I'll just say it. Do you remember? We'd have to get up for education in the morning. And then, so we'd be knocking. Alice, come on, love. Come to get up for education. And you have to sit at the table and do your work. And you'd all take your fucking time. Like, I'd be like, someone go and knock her again. So then, we'd all take turns knocking, yeah. And then after you knock, we'd have to come in. And then, so not open the door. And I'll see you look, it's just jump up on the corner. And I'm like, Alice, I've told you about this. Sleep with some bloody clothes on. And they're like, sorry, just yeah. And I was like, oh my god, that kid.
And then I think sometimes in the mornings I used to swear at you, like, I don't
Yeah.
I'd come out and you'd be like, Alice, you told me to fuck off all morning. I'm like, what? Did I?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, well, you don't remember?
Yeah,
you
were like
I don't remember. I'm still like that, to be honest. I'm not a morning person.
Yeah.
I'm not. But, yeah, I remember them mornings.
Another story, quickly, with you. I come to pick you up from your auntie's house in Aston. So then, I remember knocking the door. I said to staff, I'll go get Alice.
Oh, stop.
And then, pulled up, went in. So then, knocked the door. Your auntie come in. offered food, everything. Lovely, beautiful woman, absolutely amazing. You're there like bottom of the mouth in your mouth with your bag of clothes and your bag of food. Listen to that. You put it all in the car, and I'm just getting the car, starting the engine, and you went, sorry, dear. I said, Alice, don't fucking do this to me, Alice. I've just drove from Burton-on-Trent. Get in the car. You're like, dear, I'm so sorry it's you, but I'm not getting in the car. I was like, Alice, get in the car, please. And then we were following you around.
Following me to the bus stop.
Yeah, we were following the car, so I was saying, Alice, get in the car. Get in the car, Alice. Get in the car.
I remember shouting like, stop following me, you random man.
Yeah. And then you shouted at me and Pedro, and you called me a packet. I was like, have you got a packet? You're more packet than I am. And then, yeah, I just remember driving around, and then I think you went under a subway, and I found the house. Like, I've lost her now. So I was staying in the area, then I'm coming back, and then you just went off and done your business. And then I think Rachel picked you up the next morning. Yeah.
And remember when we absconded for like a few days, and I called you late at night.
Which one's that?
I remember, and you had to drive all the way to Soho Road, and I was in my pyjamas.
Yes,
and I remember you was like, nah, don't talk to me, Alice. Nah.
Yeah.
I got in the car, you was like, music off, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to you, Alice.
Yeah. Yes, I do remember that. Wow, yeah.
Me and another person, we absconded, and we was gone for a while.
Yeah. But then, at least to us, and you might not have seen it, you really put yourselves in some dodgy situations, and
Looking back now,
put yourselves at risk.
How could I have done that? But I think it shows the desperation for us I think for me, I was getting bored being in a care home all the time, all the time. Because for me, it was all the time.
Yeah.
These kids would go to school.
Yeah.
I was in there all the time. Like, my education room was the living room, and my bedroom was down the road, like literally down the way, and it was just.
You was in the independent flat, weren't you? When you got older,
Which I remember I got there at quite a young age. Remember?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
I did, because a certain person moved out, and then no one else could be trusted to look after it because it had a skybox and everything.
Oh my God, yeah.
And I got moved down there.
I'm trying to think you moved out now. Oh, you could tell me, but anyway. Oh yeah, but I remember you was down there, Yeah,
and then when we moved to the other place, I got the flat there as well. But I think Charlie had it to start with, didn't she? And I had that top bedroom.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
And then I moved down to the flat, and then I think I enjoyed the windows and stuff. Yeah, because it was by bushes and.
That's right.
That's where you can abscond.
Yeah.
With that other one, there was like a camera on the corner. Where the
Yeah.
You weren't getting out there. Whereas by the garden.
Just walk past the goat.
Yeah.
Bluebell.
Do you know what? I remember once I absconded, and I tried to hop some face planted.
I'd love to have seen that on camera.
In the goat pen.
Yeah.
I remember being covered in absolute shit. Like, what? Oh, yeah, it's funny. It's funny. I can't believe we had a goat.
I know, it's crazy. With all you mad kids, we had a goat.
Well, but no one used to really see no one used to really like the goat.
Yeah, true.
The goat was just out in the garden. Just chilling.
Doing his own thing. Or something like that. Remember when? I don't remember we were walking somewhere, there's like is it called Matlock? Went somewhere and you jumped off like a little ledge thing, and we used to laugh about it after, because when you jumped you went and we always just laugh about that.
Yeah. I want to go to that place actually.
Yeah.
Remember, it had the waterfalls.
Yeah.
And we'd walk all the way up to the waterfalls.
That's it. It's either Dovedale or Matlock.
I think it was Matlock.
Yeah.
And then we'd, that was fun. That used to be like my happy place, that did.
Yeah.
Jess used to take me there a lot.
Yeah. Because you used to work with Tim. Remember Tim?
No, it was Tim.
Tall, white man, grey hair, slim, white dude.
I think I remember him, yeah.
Yeah. He was such a beautiful man. He was foster care actually. And then he used to sort of take... I think that's why we should go places like that, because he was into all that, like the walking and the mad stuff.
I think it was quite peaceful, man. It's nice as well for the kids just to get out for a bit.
I take my kids now, take them to like Nicky Hills and
it would literally be a whole day out.
Yeah,
we wouldn't come back till like 8, 9.
Yeah.
And then everyone's going into bed and chilling.
That's it, yeah. Craziness. So then, so what would you say children's homes have got to do better for kids in care now, at least from your experience?
I think it's a lot to do with mental health. I think kids are very good at masking mental health.
Yeah.
And it being being seen as bad behaviour.
Yeah.
Mental health is massive for kids, because they might not tell you how they're feeling, but in their head there's all sorts of thoughts going around.
Yeah.
And I think as a staff member you have to be mindful when you're in a care home of certain things you're saying, and like, okay, yeah, you might have like a family do or something coming up, and yeah, you might be excited about it, but you have to be considerate of the kids that don't have family and are sitting there looking at you, like hearing you tell these people can then send a child into like a mental crash.
Yeah.
Where they're thinking, oh, I've got no family. And
it's kind of like reminding them of where they are, what their life is.
I think you just have to be really mindful, and just, I think, to be a carer, I think you have to be resilient, man.
Yeah, massively.
Massively, you have to be able to take anything.
Yeah. I've done it for 15 years. There's not many staff that you'd find that have done it for as long as I have. No. Saying that, the company that I work for, they're quite a northern company. They got staff that have been there for like 20 years, and I think, ooh. But then I'm at the end of my road doing it, to be fair. Yeah. Eventually, at least. It's crazy. All right, so then let's talk about kind of, so you went into care from 3 years of age, then you sort of moved around to foster homes, then you went into a couple of children's homes, and then sort of how it works generally is you get to about 16, and then you kind of start moving on, don't you?
Yeah.
Kind of tell us about that, then sort of moving from being a child in sort of in care with all this support, and then being a young adult going into sort of adulthood.
Yeah. I think I have struggles even now as a 25-year-old woman.
Yeah.
I struggle with certain things now.
25? Wow.
Yeah.
That's mad, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's how you go on.
So, I think growing up in care, you're wrapped in cotton wool. You are literally wrapped in cotton wool. Like, you've got thousands of people. Like, there's a whole bloody office of people that are like for you. Yeah, like in the Birmingham's Children's Trust, that's what they call it now. There's like a whole office of people for you. To then leave care, I think it's hard because you don't have anyone. You get put into a flat where you're by yourself. You're expected to go places by yourself.
Yeah.
Where I just come from a care home where we had 3 cars.
Yeah, we drop you everywhere.
I'm telling
everywhere.
You, we did not have to walk anywhere unless we was absconding.
Yeah.
That's the only time we've been walking. Food. That's the main thing that I've found struggle. Is in a care home or in foster placements, you've never had to worry about food.
Yeah.
And buying food and having to make things last. And
yeah.
Whereas, like, I was on independence, but still eating out of the house fridge.
Yeah.
But I didn't care. Still doing what I was. But I felt like no one really said anything, and I was just left to do it.
Yeah. And
then when I ended up leaving, like, if the food shop was done, I was sitting in my house starving.
Yeah.
Starving, like not saying anything to anyone, just starving.
Yeah.
And it's been a big thing where you never, as a child, you never had to worry about food, but then when you become an adult, having to budget, having to do bills, bills that you didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
Like, what, I have to pay a TV license.
Yeah.
Just to watch the TV.
Yeah.
Like,
you wouldn't think about that as a kid, would you? It's
electric.
True.
No one had to do electric in the care home. No one had to talk about gas.
Yeah.
We could
Water.
go and have a bath. We could go and do this.
Yeah.
And now, it's like once your gas is done, you're like,
yeah.
Now I've got to try and sort that out.
Yeah.
Now I've got to try and sort that out. It's hard. I don't think that anyone can prepare you enough. And then I feel like social services kind of back off.
Yeah.
They back off.
Did you get like a 16+ worker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then backed off.
Yeah.
Backed off. And then, like, by 18, I was homeless in town. No direction, no nothing, no one. I had no phone. I was in town by myself.
Sleeping rough, like sort
of
on the
like,
streets.
don't get me wrong. You would never be able, like, that's one thing about me. You would never be able to tell I was homeless.
Yeah.
I always look fresh, even if I had to go to McDonald's toilets.
Yeah.
I'd look fresh.
Yeah.
Even if I had to go and rob a few clothes from Primark, I'd look fresh.
Yeah.
Let me tell you. But being homeless, like, it was hard having to try and find somewhere to sleep for the night. So, as a woman, you feel vulnerable as it is being in town, and knowing what these people are like, and because you've grown up in a CSE home, you've heard things, you've warning signs.
Yeah.
So then it's in your head. You're thinking, "No, I'm not being a victim of that." So then you end up trusting people. You end up going and staying in people's houses, and then people end up taking advantage of you.
Yeah.
Making you pay for a bath.
Yeah.
Like what? And
so what would you pay financially, or with kind of like other ways?
Pay for financially £5 per bath.
Yeah. Wow.
No, to me that's craziness. Like
absolute crazy.
I could never ever like my child could be 50 and you can still come to my house and have a bath and have a dinner.
Yeah.
I don't want nothing from you, but to have adults say to me, "Oh, where's the £5? And if you ain't got a £5, you ain't having a bath."
Yeah.
Like that's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's really hard.
But then, does that then sort of go back to, just thinking about it, does that go back to then, all the way back for your childhood living in care, all the love that I've received is conditional?
Yeah.
It's conditional. Yeah, you come to my house, let's have a bath, but you better have your £5 on you.
Yeah.
Come and have a bath whenever you want, but make sure you got your money on you.
Yeah.
So there's a condition there, isn't there?
Yeah. It's horrible.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel like it happened to me and I ended up just going.
Yeah.
Like I was meant to stay with this girl. And it was pay £5 for a bath, or I'd come to her house, and because I'd been homeless, and I'd come to her house probably evening time, and she'd be like, "Oh, you smell," or blah blah blah, and I just felt, because I never had nowhere to wash my clothes, so if I didn't get no fresh set of clothes, I'm still in the clothes from yesterday.
Yeah.
That I've been bouncing around, alcohol spilt down, probably sick down.
Yeah.
Like I'm still in the same clothes, and like being told to go and sleep on the floor over there. While they're in their bed, and they'd order food and it would be, "Oh, do you want the chips that we don't want?"
Yeah, the leftovers.
It was hard, man. It was really hard. Like, but then I think I met my other half, and I think he really helped me, man. Really helped me.
Yeah. Just before we get to that, you were telling me about when you went to was it your first place when you first left us?
Yeah.
Was it Cobb Lane?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that. Without mentioning names, of course.
Yeah. I think I was rebelling. It was that feeling of, right, I'm at the care home now.
Yeah.
I can do what I want.
Freedom.
Because even though it was just a semi-independent, there was no staff at night time.
Yeah.
So there was only there during the day. So at night time, if I wanted to go out, I wanted to invite someone to my house, I could do that.
Yeah.
They might stay on the cameras tomorrow and ask me what's going on, but I can do that.
Yeah.
So I started I think to start with, I stayed to myself. Like I was struggling. Like I remember I did my first food shop, because I remember when I left your care home, they gave me like £40.
Yeah.
And I went to Aldi that day with that friend, and I went and did a food shop. I remember getting home. I remember being like, "Oh, this is my house."
Yeah.
And then I remember the next day just being like, "It's boring."
Yeah.
And then once the food was done, I felt embarrassed to go and ask anyone for help. I didn't have, because I was 17, I wasn't signed on to Universal Credit, so I'd have to wait till Friday to get my money from social services.
Okay.
So it was like, it felt horrible, to be honest. It was like I'd eat on Friday, and then the whole week I'd go without food, because I kind of spunked my money on Friday. I needed tobacco,
Yeah.
You do them
pay for your sessions
yeah. You do them things, and then you left fucked for the week.
Yeah.
And I'd just be sitting in my bed all day, like starving. And I think it was hard. And then I ended up mixing with a few people there, because I thought, "Oh, there's a few people here." Like we had to do like group sessions, so then you'd start speaking to people, and you'd be like, "Oh, this person's all right." So we'd start going into each other's flats and see each other, and then we'd end up going out going out together, like going out on a night out, or we're just gonna go to this place together. And I remember a few times that I got asked if I wanted to come. I remember I was like, "Nah." And then one time I was like, "Yeah, let's go." Like we went to go and meet some people in Celio. I remember the person pulled out a knife in the car, and
really?
I was like, "What is this?" The one time I decided to come out. What? And then we ended up meeting a few people, kind of brought them back. And then I think every time we went out, we started seeing these same people. So then I ended up getting close with one of them, ended up giving him keys to my flat.
Yeah.
And I remember it was the worst decision I ever made. I swear to God, like I never felt terrorised the way I felt terrorised in there. Like There's banging my door at 4 o'clock. Okay, yeah, he's got the keys, but I put the chain on.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
put the key in the other side.
Oh,
so
okay.
that if he tried to put it
yeah.
So then they're banging off my door like hooligans.
Yeah.
Like 5 of them out there.
Yeah.
So then I'd open the door because I'd feel like, oh, I'm going to wake these people up that are in the flats next to me. And the girl underneath me was literally pregnant. So I had to try, I remember she was complaining so much. But yeah, these people are coming at like 4 o'clock in the morning trying to come in and have a party, and I'm sitting in my bedroom, I'm thinking, I'm literally half asleep. Like, these people are drinking vodka in my living room, smashing glasses, and I'm thinking, what is this rubbish? So then I tried a few tactics where I would invite friends over and be like, just go mad. Start going mad in there, get them out.
Yeah.
Didn't work, they'd come back.
Yeah.
So then I think one day I ended up asking the staff member, saying, I can't cope with it. Can you get my keys back off these people and tell them to leave me alone?
Yeah.
They never left me alone, still kept coming. And then I met this one person. And I ended up going away for Christmas. And yeah, crimes were committed in my flat.
Yeah.
All sorts. I come back, I was like, what on earth?
You think you say someone was kidnapped and sort of held in your flat?
Yeah, under my bed, there was knives, there was duct tape, all sorts. I had a divan bed, so the bed was sliced open underneath.
Oh, okay.
So you can see, like, there's pillows under there, everything. And
whoa.
I remember coming back, and I remember coming into the flat, and I remember going mad. Like, ringing the geezer, like, what have you done? Like, my house, there's knobs everywhere, like fag knobs, just in my side. Like, just what have you done? And then he came, oh, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. Next day, I went down to the staff members, and she was like, Alice, can you come in here, please? And she started showing me the cameras. I've seen people being dragged out of cars, dragged into my house, and dragged from my house back into the car, and it was horrible.
Yeah, madness, isn't it?
It was absolutely horrible.
But I think as well that there's at least for the system, there's maybe a bit of a lesson to be learnt there, isn't there? You know, whereas let's sort of say when you was with us before you left us, you would have sort of 3, 4, 5 staff around you on a daily basis, sort of whether you want to call them mums or dads or just staff or whatever, however you see them. But it was support. It was people you can go and talk to, go and seek advice, go and get a lift with, go and get, I don't know, learn budgeting skills, whatever it is. And then sort of, once you left the care home, then it's you kind of, at least I see it as, you pushed off a cliff and sort of said, now manage on your own.
Yeah.
Whereas there should be a bit more of a step down.
Yeah.
So whereas should it be a case of, let's sort of say us on the care home, come and see you once a week.
Yeah.
Or even
and just to make sure, and then that adult can then pick up on things that aren't being done in the flat, and they can say to the people that are working with them that something's not right.
There you go.
And pick up the signs quicker, because if that would have happened to me, it would have, none of that would have happened. It would have been picked up way long before that. But because none of the staff was coming in my flat, and checking on me, and it was always, if I went down to them, then they'd help. Yeah.
But the question is, people working in care, do they really care?
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Some of them don't, and they won't come and check up on you. But then there's some that will take their time out of the day and come and check up on every single one of them, and make sure you've got food in your cupboards, make sure that you've got electric and gas. Because even at that place, I remember I got home one night and I had no electric, no gas. I remember freezing that night, freezing to death, like freezing. It was winter, freezing. And Cobb Lane, it was an old building, so the windows weren't really tight. So it was freezing, it was horrible. And there was times where, if I didn't have no gas, I'd go without a bath. Or I'd have to have a cold shower. It is what it is. But I think, to be honest, I ended up just rotting in my bed in that place, because I didn't know what to do. I had no oomph about me. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anyone. I'd just come from the middle of nowhere with a goat.
Because that's it as well. Because without a few decent people around you, or decent adults, to sort of say, Alice, I've seen this man keep coming up, this young man keep coming around the house, or even this girl, sort of, I don't think they're the best for you. I don't think they're great.
Advantage or...
This, are these really your friends? Because then, again, kind of things that escalated for you, didn't they? You know, whereas you sort of said you got in trouble with the law. And kind of, who was then sort of say, Alice, calm down, chill out, relax. Actually,
it's only after, when I was in trouble with the law and I was sitting in the cell and I'm thinking, oh, God. Why did no one tell me this was going to happen? But then, as a young adult, you think you know best. You think, I know. I know I'm going to get caught. I'll be all right.
So true, isn't it? So what happened with the law?
I ended up getting in that same group of people that was just terrorising my flat. One of them ended up going to jail.
Mm-hmm.
And I found this quite weird. Like, he didn't know my number or anything, and he rang me from jail and he said, "Oh, I've remembered your number."
Oh wow.
I remember thinking, that's weird.
Yeah.
I remember him saying to me, "I need you to do something for me. Like, I wouldn't ask you. Someone's let me down. I wouldn't usually ask, but
Yeah.
can you do this for me?" And I remember saying, "Yeah, I'll go." But I said, "I'll bring my friend with me."
Yeah.
So I took my friend with me, and yeah.
What was you doing or having to do?
We went to London, and then we had to stay in London for a few days till we could get the plane tickets. I ended up doing a drug run.
Okay, so smuggling drugs from one country to another.
Yeah.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, but being forced to do it because I had no phone. I was in Kenya with no phone.
You actually got to Kenya?
Yeah.
I didn't realise you got to Kenya.
He was on the way back that I got caught. Like, I fully went out there. I was living the African life there. Like, I was fully there.
Eating jollof rice and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my friend left, which that's a whole different thing. Like, she left me there by myself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I was in Kenya by myself. And then
but that was scary though, was
yeah,
that scary?
It was horrible because there's this other person, and with the way that it is, there's a person that kind of looks after you that's over there.
Yeah.
That will deal with passing you the bags and putting you on the next plane. So that person was there, so I knew that I was going home, but you don't know when you're going home. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going home with.
Yeah.
So then
how long was you in Kenya for?
About 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, no one knew. I didn't tell anyone before I left.
Yeah, so just disappeared for a bit.
I just went. And anything could have happened to me. And I look back on it now and I think, thank God, God was with me.
Yeah.
He got me back home.
Yeah.
And I could have got caught in Dubai, like, because I had to pass through certain places to get back.
I bet he was thanking as well then. I bet he was thanking the Muslim God, the Catholic God, every God.
Everyone! Thank you!
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And my other half says to me all the time when we watch like shows, smuggling shows and stuff. And like, there was one that come out about this man in Dubai, and he was saying to me, "Alice, that could have been you."
Yeah.
So I come through Dubai and like they're high on drugs and stuff. But anyway, yeah, I ended up coming back, and I got caught in Heathrow, and I was so embarrassed.
Yeah,
so
I bet.
Yeah, I was so embarrassed. Man. They just took me to the side, opening, searching. And he was asking me, "Oh, have you got the keys to the other suitcases?" I was like, "Nah." Searched me. Like, when I say to you, it was that stuff that the smiling people chew. That cat. It's a drug, Class C drug.
Oh, okay.
It was that I bought back 2 suitcases.
Oh,
It was a big amount.
Yeah.
Like 2 big suitcases full. Like, and it wasn't like clothes in there. Like, it was like the woman even said
I would try to hide it.
No, the woman even said in the airport, she was like, "Wow, they just wrapped it in newspaper."
Oh my God.
Literally, it was like a layer of newspaper, and then the rest of it was the stuff.
Yeah. But again, that goes to show they don't even care about you to sort of try and hide it.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. And I remember they asked me if I had the keys, and I didn't have the keys, and they unlocked it. It gave me a headache. The stench of this stuff. It gave me a headache. I remember going into the room, and I'd be like, these police officers must have thought I was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Because they're there interviewing me, and they're like, "Oh, so who sent you down?" Like, "Mr. Ali." They're like, "What?" Like, "Yeah, his name's Mo." Yeah, all these weird names. Like, they're looking at me like, because I'm saying Mr. Ali, they're like, "You telling me you went to Kenya and you don't know this person's name?" And this is how vulnerable I was. Like, I was like, "Yeah, okay, trusting. Let's go."
Yeah.
I went to Kenya. Didn't take a phone, let this person take my phone off me before I got there.
Wow.
And then, because I'd been given a bit of spending money, thought, "Oh yeah, I'm going on holiday." And because I'm so gullible. These people had told me I'd be on jet skis, living my life. See, I was stuck in a hotel room, didn't come out for 2 weeks.
No way.
The one time me and my friend did go out, someone in the street was like, "You white bitch, come here." So then we ran back and never come out. So I was like, this is risque. Like, but yeah, I ended up getting caught. And because I was homeless, because this happened before I got homeless, because I got caught in London, I couldn't pay for my ticket to get to court.
Yeah.
So then I was on the run.
Yeah, okay.
For about a year.
Yeah,
and I remember the police officer said to me, he said, "You done well, bab."
Yeah.
He said, you've been on the run for 7 months.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
you've done well. But I remember the day after. I remember the day that I should have been at court. The day after.
Yeah.
I went to town and I seen police. I thought they was looking for me. I was ducking and diving. I was like, oh, they've come for me because there was where I was chilling. Like, there was where I usually chill.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was like, oh, nah, they've sent the
They're after
police
me,
to come
yeah.
and get me. But now I didn't get caught for like 7 months. And then I got pregnant. And I reached out to a trident reach worker just to get housing, a bit of support, because I didn't have nothing. Like, I was pregnant and I had nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
I was living with my other half.
So this is now your current boyfriend, your kid's dad, yeah.
I was living with my other half, but obviously you need your own space. Like it's small and it like. So I was trying to get my own place, and I think a few days went by because I was quite erratic still, like still going out doing my stuff.
Yeah.
But I was pregnant, so I wasn't drinking or anything, but I was still erratic, like still living like a crazy lifestyle.
Yeah.
Here, there, and everywhere. So then I think I missed her call for a few days, so she sent them to my other half's house. The police for a welfare check.
Wow.
I remember at 9 o'clock in the morning, like the police officer was doing a letterbox, Alice Roper.
Yeah.
I'm looking at my other half, I'm like, why do people know my name? I'm thinking, huh? So then I've gone to the door, and then the police officer, crafty, he's like, oh, we've got to tell you something about your other half that we think you should know.
Okay.
So then I invited them in thinking, what am I getting myself into?
Yeah.
And then the man was like, oh, we've got to arrest you, bab. You're wanted.
Yeah.
And I turned around to him and said, oh, can you come back tomorrow? Please.
Just want to sleep.
Yeah, I said, please, I promise I will be here tomorrow. Come back same time tomorrow, I will be here.
Sleeping.
My other half saying, go. Like, I don't really want police just chilling in my house. Like, can you just go?
Yeah.
And I'm saying, nah, I don't want to go. Like, I don't want to go. So then the police officers took me. And, like, this is what I mean. I don't know about being arrested. I was sitting in the police car on my phone. And man's like, can I have your phone, please? I was like, oh, okay, I can't be on my phone.
Yeah.
And then I got to the Perry Bar place. And it's quite sad. I think the police officer felt quite sad for me because he put a tenner in my stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, make sure you get home, bab.
So that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, he was basically saying, like, I explained it all to them. And he was saying that he felt sorry for me. And he was like, oh, you can tell it's duress. But then I ended up going into the custody suite. And you know where the man books you in to like and says, "Oh yeah, we're going to authorise your stay."
Yeah.
He basically read the charges out, read the amount of stuff that I brought over, and looked at me and was like, "I don't think you're going home, bab."
Yeah, it's going to be a long stay.
And I started panicking. I said to him, "Can I have my call? Can I have my call?" I rang my other half. I was like, "Excuse me, I don't think they're letting me out. I ain't coming home. They're remanding me. The man told me I ain't coming out." But then the police officer that had took me in there, basically took me to the side and said, he shouldn't have said that to you. Like, that was out of order. He shouldn't have said that to you. I'm going to have a word with our manager now because he shouldn't have put the fear of God into you. You could tell I was nervous anyway. I was already shaking. I was already asking loads of questions like, how long am I going to be here?
Yeah.
How long are you going to keep me? Am I going to prison? And the man's basically looking at me like, yeah, I think you are, bab.
Yeah.
I think you are going to prison. So yeah, and then I ended up going to court, and the man said to me, the judge, how can I guarantee that you're going to end up turning up to court next time? I said, well, I'm in receipt of universal credit now, so I can pay for a ticket, which really and truly, at the age of 18, that would have been my whole wage.
Yeah,
that would have been everything.
Week to live, isn't it?
Yeah, that would have been my whole month.
Yeah,
because you get paid monthly from the universal credit, and I only get paid like, because I was under 25. You only get paid like £100 to £200.
Oh wow!
So that was my whole money to get to London for the month.
Yeah.
So I was having to do it pregnant by myself because we were struggling. We couldn't afford 2 tickets and to live.
Yeah.
So we'd have to use his money to survive. So I remember having to go there by myself, no phone, having to find the court. I remember being in this London tube station, and being so overwhelmed, I started crying. And the woman come over to me, she was like, are you alright? I said, listen, I've got no phone. I've got a piece of paper that tells me where I need to be. Yeah. And directions. Can you tell me where I need to get this tube from? Yeah. And she sent me there. By the grace of God, I found it. I got there on time. And then I ended up, they managed to, because I was heavily pregnant, they managed to get the court changed to Birmingham because I couldn't travel. Yeah. And then I went to court, and then my solicitor rang me after I left, and he was like, "Oh, Bab, I've managed to get the charges dropped because it's clear it was direct duress,
Yeah, yeah.
and you was forced into going
Yeah,
without
yeah.
knowing what you was putting. Like, do you know what I mean? It wasn't you that planned it
Yeah,
all. You're
so
not
you're
the
kind of like
mastermind.
a vulnerable young person.
Yeah.
You're kind of groomed and sort of led a different
Yeah.
sort of life.
So by the grace of God, my charges got dropped. So
Yeah.
now I've got nothing against me. But yeah, I was terrified. I was terrified, pregnant, thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna have a baby in prison. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like Wentworth.
What's that show? Is it? I've never even seen it, but I think people said it's mad. Orange is the colour black or something.
Orange is the new black.
Orange is the new black or
Yeah,
something.
it's amazing.
Oh, is it good? I've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
seen it, but yeah. So then your boyfriend, he's kind of been a blessing for you, whereas he comes from a good family. He's a
Yeah.
good lad now,
Yeah.
and he's sort of just kind of he took you under his wing, shall we say, and you kind
Yeah,
of become
yeah.
a bit of a team.
100%.
Yeah, so I love that because for us sometimes, as the adults and the carers looking after the kids like yourselves, we sort of say, "Where's Alice going to be?" And we had this conversation about you. Where's she going to be in 10 years? And because she's going to go out, do certain things, be an idiot, or is it going to be a case of she needs a good lad to sort of say, "Come on, follow me." And I think there, probably count your blessings because you are a good kid though. Really, is kind of you've got someone like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas there's some other kids that grew up in care that we probably know of haven't got that.
Yeah,
Whereas we were talking about a kid earlier, so I won't say her name, but then she's lost the kids and stuff. Well, last I heard anyway, she's had a few kids and lost the kids and been kicked out of her family and this that, the other, which is a shame. But yeah, it's just again. So then, what would you say has been your biggest adversity in life or your biggest struggle?
I think leaving care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but from what you've said, I'd probably agree and sort of think it's...
That was my lowest, I think. And I used to, I used to laugh because I used to think I was depressed in the care home.
Yeah.
Nah, you don't know depression until you're by yourself.
Yeah.
You can't feed yourself. You've got no support. You're by yourself. You've got no parents. You've got no one that you can just go and ask for help. So you just sit there by yourself and end up just suffering.
Yeah, and then getting into madness like
Yeah.
you did. Very, totally. Again, it just goes to show you being a prime example. Is the system doing enough for kids like you leaving care or for any other care leavers once you get to 16? Let's do more.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's do more. God, do you know what I mean?
I think way more needs to be done. I think that more support needs to be put in place. And I understand they could probably, like I probably would have, they're probably going to argue with you and probably not going to want the support. But I guarantee you when they're 28, 25, 30, looking back, they're going to be like, wow, I needed that.
Yeah,
That's what I needed.
Yeah,
if I would have been by myself, how would I have done that? Because like, if I hadn't had my kids, like, I always think, would I have got a job? Like, what would I be doing now? Do you know what I mean? Because I left college. I didn't. I had my one qualification, which was my beauty therapy, but I didn't do my level 2, so I couldn't like get a job at a beauty therapy salon until I'd done my level 2.
Yeah, yeah.
So then you think, what would I have?
Yeah, so true. What would you say life has taught you in your 25 years on this earth?
To be patient, and that if it doesn't happen today, a lot of the times it will happen in the next few days.
Yeah, yeah, nice.
And not to stress. You can't stress. Do you know stress? It sent me mad. It did. I was on medication. I had bald patches in my head. Everything like stress is really bad. Yeah, it's like you can tell it's one of the biggest killers.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So you have to try and find a way to just release your stress.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And just think, okay, it's not going to work today.
Yeah,
I'll try again tomorrow.
For someone who's lived a bit of a life there, what's the best advice you've been given? Whether it be in hindsight, whereas you look back and sort of think, oh, the answer said this to me as a kid, now we understand it, or just a case of whenever you've sort of been deferred this advice, you've sort of thought, that's good.
Probably, I'd say it's advice that I didn't take.
Mm.
So that's why it's good advice. I should have took it. But not to trust everyone.
Yeah.
Not everyone's as trusting, and not to believe what people say to you.
That's it.
So I think growing up in a care home, you end up trusting a lot of what you trust a lot because obviously they're telling you the truth, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah.
But then you go out into this world, and this person could be telling you anything, and you're believing it.
Yeah, true.
Like, that's one thing I would say is my other half would say probably I am a bit gullible.
Yeah.
Like, I believe a lot of what people say to me, and he would just be like, I want to change shit.
Yeah, yeah. So what advice would you give to kids like yourself, or former kids like yourself, or just anyone who's struggling in life?
I would say that it's hard, but it will get better. It'll get better. And I would say not to do what the typical care leaver does, where they leave care and be like, fuck it, like, fuck the system.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's the worst thing you could do. You need that system.
Yeah, I love that.
Same system that has been there and helped you when you've been growing up. You need that system.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
because you're a part of it.
This is what I'm saying. It's like a machine that works, and then taking a piece out, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
Like, that is all you've ever known. Like, they're your corporate parents, they're your parents.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that's who you turn to.
Yeah.
Like, if you need something done. So then, cutting that support off, what are you doing for yourself?
Yeah.
You're just harming yourself. You're harming what you want because you've cut the support off.
Yeah, just for thinking, I can have a bit of freedom, but then the
Yeah.
freedom leads to a bit of, sometimes at least, or
It's
probably a
not
lot
the
of
best,
time.
yeah, it's not the best thing. And
bit of
you
shit
end
or
up in a
madness.
shit situation.
Yeah, yeah. Very, very, very true. I totally agree as well. What would you say is your greatest achievement?
My children.
Yeah,
Yeah.
love that. Not everybody has one or kind of thing, but do you have, or what's your favourite quote or saying? If you haven't got one, don't worry. It's just
Mine is probably just like Usa, like just breathe.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Ah, okay,
Like,
yeah,
smile
yeah,
and wave, it is what it is.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because a lot of people try and draw you out, man,
yeah.
and you can't let them draw you out.
So true.
Because, like, if I wanted to, I could go mad. Like, I could go absolutely mad.
Yeah.
But what am I going to do? I'm just going to embarrass myself. These people want to draw. Like, people want to draw you out.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what you have to learn as an adult. Is not to retaliate to everything. Sometimes you just let it go. It is what it is.
This is it.
Just block and delete, move on.
Yeah, and you've got two beautiful children now that depend on you.
Yeah.
This
So
is
you can't as a parent. You can't be you can't sit in a rut. You have to kind of have a routine and get on with it. It is what it is. Like, something might not go my way, but back in the day I would have sat there and cried.
Yeah.
Now I can't cry. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I'll be a bit pissed off.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I might go in the room and have a but I have to come back out and okay, yeah, everything's back to normal now.
Yeah.
What do you want for dinner? Blah blah blah. And yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. Nice.
It's hard.
What are 3 fundamentals or principles or morals that you live by today?
Respect people.
Yeah. Don't trust everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a massive one for me. Don't
Yeah.
trust anyone. And I'd say I don't even know.
Fair enough. That's
Yeah,
fine.
probably about 2.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So we did this thing, as you've probably seen, on the ones that you've seen. We asked the guest a question for the next guest.
Yeah.
So when you think of a question, if you haven't already got one, the last person said, if you could have any superpower to create good in the world, what would it be? Or even on a simpler way is, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
If I could have any superpower, what would it be? I think it would be.
It can be absolutely anything because it's your superpower.
Yeah. I think it would be just to spread love for
Yeah.
all children. I think that every child, no matter what they've done, where they come from,
Yeah.
I think every single child in the world deserves love. And not in a weird way, but that's just, I think, coming from a child who was never given love.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most important things that a child needs growing up. Is love, stability, care, and to know that it's a safe space, it's home. So I think I would try and take every child that's in a bad situation out and give them love and happiness.
Yeah, just a good core, it's a good
Yeah.
base and foundation.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. And again, it even means a little bit more coming from someone like you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Who's someone who hasn't had that, and you want that for other kids, because some people could sort of say, well, I had it shit, so I want everybody else to have it shit. But actually, you sort of say, no, let's change things and make it better.
Not everyone needs to have to go through what we've gone through.
Yeah. Totally, I love that, Alice, so much. So, what would be your question for the next guest? And again, you can ask them absolutely anything.
Okay. If you could move to anywhere in the country, in the world, where would you go?
Okay, yeah, like that. Where would you go?
I'm not too sure, because I would have said America, because I like Americans.
Yeah.
But I feel like America has certain things that I don't like. So like the gun law and things like that. So I think I'd stay here, I quite like England.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, I think I've had enough of going to other countries.
Yeah.
So
Put you off a lot.
I quite like England,
Stay out of Kenya.
Yeah.
John, mine would probably be. I don't know why. I might never ever even go there. New Zealand. Don't know why. It looks like a great, beautiful place.
Yeah.
Just imagine.
I see Australia as well. It looks like quite peaceful.
Yeah.
Very relaxed.
This is it. I'd want to go somewhere where the mentality of the people is really good and big community kind of thing. But you need to be a bit more sort of rural for places like that, I think.
Yeah.
Cities don't really have that.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I hate about England is like racism and that. I just can't do it.
But then that's going to be everywhere as well.
Yeah.
I know a bloke who worked in New Zealand. He worked in the prisons there, and he sort of said he's a white man, and he said the racism he received, he said, was absolutely crazy from like the Maoris and stuff. He sort of said it was absolutely crazy. He said some of them are obviously really, really good, beautiful people, but they said also there's a lot of racism in the prisons, but then going both ways. But yeah, you want to finish up on anything, Alice?
No, just thank you.
Yeah.
I just hope it helps someone, innit?
Yeah, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Firstly, you've done amazing today. Secondly, I think in general in life, you're doing a great job. Kind of to see you sitting here now, I'm actually really, really proud of you. So proud of you. From the little shit that you was when I knew you, to see you now as a mom, as a wife, kind of just doing well, looking well, bringing people into the world. Being so proud of you.
Thank you.
But be proud of yourself. It's amazing. So thank you. Well done. Thanks. You've absolutely smashed it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Swear to God, be proud of yourself.